Hi, boys and girls. My name is Amna. I'm Miss Sabrina's cousin, and I'm also a fourth grade teacher. Today, I'll be reading a book that I usually read to my students during the first week of school. It's called Wilford Gordon McDonald's Partridge, written by Mem Fox. Let's get started. Wilford Gordon McDonald's Partridge. There was once a small boy called Wilford Gordon McDonald Partridge, and what's more, he wasn't very old either. His house was next door to an old people's home, and he knew all the people who lived there. There he is. He liked Mrs. Jordan, who played the organ. That's an instrument. He listened to Mr. Hosking, who told him scary stories. Ooh. He played with Mr. Tippett, who was crazy about cricket, which is a sport. He ran errands for Miss Mitchell, who walked with a wooden stick. He admired Mr. Drysdale, who had a voice like a giant. But his favorite person of all was Miss Nancy Allison Delacourt Cooper, because she had 4 names just as he did. He called her Miss Nancy and told her all his secrets. One day Wilford Gordon heard his mother and father talking about Miss Nancy. "Poor old thing," said his mother. "Why is she a poor old thing?" asked Wilford Gordon. "Because she's lost her memory," said his father. "It isn't surprising," said his mother. "After all, she is 96 years old." Do you know somebody who's 96? I do. My Uncle Tony. "What's a memory?" asked Wilford Gordon. He was always asking questions. "It is something you remember," said his father. But Wilford Gordon wanted to know more, so he called on Mrs. Jordan, who played the organ. "What's a memory?" he asked. "Something warm, my child, something warm." He called on Mr. Hosking, who told him scary stories. "What's a memory?" he asked. "Something from long ago, me lad, something from long ago." He called on Mr. Tippett, who was crazy about cricket. "What's a memory?" he asked. "Something that makes you cry, my boy, something that makes you cry." He called on Miss Mitchell, who walked with a wooden stick. "What's a memory?" he asked. "Something that makes you laugh, my darling, something that makes you laugh." He called on Mr. Drysdale, who had a voice like a giant. "What's a memory?" he asked. "Something as precious as gold, young man, something as precious as gold." So Wilford Gordon went home again to look for memories for Miss Nancy, because she had lost her own. He looked for the shoebox of shells he had found long ago last summer, and put them gently in a basket. He found the puppet on strings, which always made everyone laugh, and he put that in a basket too. He remembered with sadness the medal which his grandfather had given him, and he placed it gently next to the shells. So he's gathering all these things for Miss Nancy. Next he found his football, which was as precious as gold. And last of all, on his way to Miss Nancy's, he went into the hen house and took a fresh, warm egg from under a hen. So he's putting together everything that his friends have told him what a memory was, so he can give that to Miss Nancy. She lost her own. Then Wilfred Gordon called on Miss Nancy and gave her each thing one by one. What a dear, strange child to bring me all these wonderful things, thought Miss Nancy. Then she started to remember. She held the warm egg and told Wilfred Gordon about the tiny speckled blue eggs she had once found in a bird's nest in her aunt's garden. She put a shell to her ear and remembered going to the beach by tram long ago and how hot she had felt in her button-up boots. So now Miss Nancy's starting to remember things that have happened to her. She touched the metal and talked sadly of the big brother she had loved, who had gone to war and never returned. She smiled at the puppet on strings and remembered the one she had shown to her sister and how she had left with a mouthful of porridge. She bounced the football to Wilfred Gordon and remembered the day she had met him and all the secrets they had told. And the two of them smiled and smiled because Miss Nancy's memory had been found again by a small boy who wasn't very old either. There's Wilfred and Miss Nancy. The end. So what's your favorite memory? So here are some questions that you can think about. Do you think Wilfred is a good friend, and why? Are there some things that you might have lost? If so, how did you find it? And did anyone help you find it? Okay. And then do you have any friends who are old? If so, how old are they? I hope you enjoyed this book, and I look forward to reading with you again. Bye.